I was absolutely disheartened looking back at this episode. Hello everyone, my name is Sen, welcome back to Crouch Block, and for today's video we're going to be continuing our icy expedition with our third interaction with Mr. Freeze in the episode Cold Comfort. Hadouken! I was going to do a traditional scene-by-scene breakdown of the episode, but this episode just pisses me off more than anything because it felt like an assassination of a character I love so much. Starting from one of my favorite episodes of all time, that being Heart of Ice, with Freeze and his origin, which I can't state enough how much I would have loved if that episode was broken up into two parts. Moving on to Deep Freeze, and while not an amazing episode, it still reinforced my thoughts on the character. That, of course, being just because Freeze does things that are bad doesn't mean he's actually a bad guy. But this episode just feels like it slaughters that idea. In the beginning of the episode is Freeze just being a real scoundrel, a real son of a bitch, going around and either destroying things or, if you're Bruce Wayne, attempting to take his family away from him. But why would he do that? And he literally says there's no reason, just for the fuck of it.
Why?
Why not?
So why? Why is Freeze being such a bitch right now? Well, in Deep Freeze, we learned that Nora was still a playing piece on the table, and that was the whole reason as to why Victor was helping Grant Walker in that episode, because Nora was a bargaining piece. But since then, the Wayne Foundation actually cured Nora of her affliction, and she is back to living a normal life. Following that up, the records show that since the treatment of Nora, Victor never came to visit her, and since then, Nora ran off and married her doctor. So you might ask yourself, alright, why did Victor not visit her? Well, I mean, there's the obvious elephant in the room of his condition that we knew of, but things do go a step further because while the Wayne Foundation was willing to also treat Victor, it was far too late because his condition has caused his body to deteriorate to the point where he's reduced to nothing more than a head in a jar. Let me just say, this is a reasonable crash out to be having. I mean, would any of us want to be caught in the very same condition with the person we love the most? To have that person see us in such a state? Is it not better to have them preserve in their mind the best version of us and have that be the memory that lives on in their head? And paired with that, having everything that you wanted, but you not being everything you wanted to be, not being quite literally and figuratively whole. Just putting this out there though, what did he think would actually happen? I mean, even before the head in the jar situation, he was still blue and bound to sub-zero temperatures, and if that wasn't the case, he always had to be in his suit. On top of that, I'm pretty sure he's killed people. I don't think your beloved Nora would be too juiced off of that situation. It's as if you knew everything that you wanted, but didn't think about what would happen if you actually got it. So what exactly is the nail in the coffin with all of this? Victor's big final move is just to say fuck everything and bomb the shit out of Gotham, turning it into nothing more than a frozen tundra. Man, if you're at least gonna give me a subpar narrative, at least give me some cool action moments, and we didn't even really get that. I mean, if you want to count the scale of the spectacle behind the final fight, I guess we could count that, but for me, that's pushing it. This episode really just makes me sad, and not even in a good way, like emotionally moved or anything like that. Mr. Freeze, a character I care so much about, is simply reduced into, oh, he's just a bad guy now. And his descent isn't even for the benefit of another character's development. I mean, you could argue that yes, it's for Nora's development into a more full life for her, but that's really reading into the subtext a bit. I mean, shit, Deep Freeze was not a perfect episode or anything like that, but at least it had a moment or two that preserved that character. You could have just given him one line. I'm ad-libbing here, but yes, I had to let her go. She deserves the warm embrace of another. As cold as it may seem, she lives beyond the icy walls I could give to her. In the final moments of the episode, wrapping up the action set piece, Batman diverts the course of the bomb to the middle of the Gotham Sea or whatever ocean it is or whatever it may be. To actually stop Mr. Freeze himself, he binds Mr. Freeze to said bomb, dropping both in the middle of the ocean, winning the day. There is the shot that things aren't exactly over because Mr. Freeze does escape his fate by ejecting himself from his suit. Like I said earlier, he's reduced to nothing more than a head in a jar. But unfortunately, in this episode, there isn't really much interesting to talk about within it other than how this character's been reduced into a bad little boy. I understand where the lashing out comes from because he has nothing left. He has nothing left to fight for. He has no meaning or purpose. When the entire motivation of your character is to preserve the life of another and save them, when you actually do, and it doesn't come up roses, what is left? We do still have, at minimum, 2 pieces of work to review, assuming that we don't do any sort of extra credit by checking out various films or comics of the sort. Those being Batman the Animated Series, the movie, Sub-Zero, and the episode from Batman Beyond Meltdown. I've been told Sub-Zero wasn't very good. I haven't watched it in a very, very long time, but I can already tell you that Meltdown from Batman Beyond is better, in my opinion, than this episode. I know this was a shorter upload/episode, but there isn't really a ton to unpack here. Likely the next thing I upload are going to be episode 2 of the Fallout series, and then a video on Sonic Frontiers. Until then, I'm gonna save any kind of more extensive work or thoughts on Mr. Freeze until these future uploads. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Old and infirm as you are, I'd trade 1,000 of my frozen years for your worst day.